It's amazing how words can just get you. This song, man. Sing loud for your sunshine. Pray hard for the rain. I love that. That just, I don't know, just arrested my attention and just made me go off for a minute there. Damn, what a good song. You know what? I remember this song, man. I remember this damn song. God, I was young. I remember where I was, who I was with, what I was doing. I was 11 or 12, maybe 10 or 11, really young. And my family and I, we were on our way to Niagara Falls and then to Marineland. And our cousin Yusuf was with us. So it was my sister Pat, me, and our cousin Yusuf in the back seat. My mom and dad were in the front. And we were driving to Niagara Falls. Man, I was excited as hell. Never seen Niagara Falls except for the advertisements on TV. I was stoked as hell. So, long drive, man. So we're driving to Niagara Falls. And then we're going to go to Marineland right after. And this song is playing. Now, I can't tell you if it was the radio or if it might have been a cassette or whatever it was. But this song was playing. And I remember this part, the la 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 la, that part. And then the people turned away part, the people turned away. And I was thinking to myself, why did they turn away? You know, I mean, throughout the body of the song, it was cool, but me and my sister, my cousin, we were just waiting for the la 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 part to just sing along with that part. We thought it was really cool. We got a kick out of the song. That is the memory of this damn song, man. Just came back to me. I forgot all about that. It's amazing what music will do. Are you like me where you get triggered, your memories get triggered by music and stuff that you just forgot all about comes back to you? This happens to me quite often. And I gotta tell you, Led Zeppelin has been responsible for probably the most triggering memories, childhood memories that I've had. There's been some with Jeff Beck, and I remember as a kid being taken back by Jethro Tull when I did the reaction to Living in the Past. So a lot of these songs takes me back to childhood memories. Do you get those triggers as well? And sometimes, depending, I don't know, it can be really vivid. Like this is a very specific memory that just came racing back to me. You probably saw a few smirks along the way. It's because of the sing-along thing. And I'm visualizing myself and my sister and my cousin in the back seat of our car going by. I even remember the car that we had back then. We had a 1985 Chevy Monte Carlo. Beautiful car, burgundy, sexy as hell. And I just loved that car. And I kept saying to my pops, yo man, don't ever sell this car because I want it. Once you grow old and die, I want to have it. And he's like, okay, son, no problem. He turns around and he sells it. Anyway, that's the memory that I have of this song, man. Fantastic. And it took me, I think probably the second part of the refrain, is it called? Where you get into the sing-along part. I'm not going to sing it again. I'm an awful singer. But man, yeah, great memory. Holy. I went way off there. Sad, man. A Led Zeppelin reaction with only 2 songs. It's going to go well past an hour, I'm sure. When you guys get the notification, you're going to look at it. You're going to look at the length and you're going to be like, damn, what the hell? I bet you this guy was just going off. So let's do a read, man, on Down by the Seaside. Now that I have the association, I'm very eager now to get a little background on the song. Down by the Seaside. Down by the Seaside appears on the album Physical Graffiti. So it's a combo of song and album information. Physical Graffiti is the sixth studio album by English rock band Led Zeppelin. It was released as a double album on the 24th of February in '75 by the group's new record label, Swan Song Records. Yeah, I had to ask you another question. Swan Song, what are the events that led to them starting their own label? I know they started with Atlantic, and then they went on to starting their own label. Was it just motivated for the sake of being 100% in control? Just basically controlling their own money, that sort of thing? Did they have a falling out with Atlantic? Give me the background about that. The band wrote and recorded 8 new songs for the album in early '74 at Headley Grange, a country house in Hampshire, which gave them ample time to improvise arrangements and experiment with recording. The total playing time covered 3 sides of an LP, so they decided to expand it into a double by including previously unreleased tracks from the sessions for their earlier albums Led Zeppelin 3, 4, and Houses of the Holy. That was one long-ass sentence, man. No breaks. The album covered a range of styles, including hard rock, progressive rock, rock and roll, and folk. The album was then mixed over summer of 1974 and planned for an end-of-year release. It was delayed because of the sleeve, which was designed by Peter Kirsten and featured a theme around a tenement block in Manhattan, New York. Physical Graffiti was commercially and critically successful upon its release and debuted at number 1 on album charts in both the US and the UK. It was promoted by a successful US tour and a 5-night residency at Earl's Court in London, and has since been viewed as one of the group's strongest albums and the artistic peak of their career. Down by the Seaside is a nod to Neil Young, who had a song called Down by the River. It's done in his style. The band recorded this for Led Zeppelin 4, but they thought it wasn't good enough at the time. It was included on Physical Graffiti to fill the double album. Jimmy Page and Robert Plant wrote this in 1970 as an acoustic piece at Bron, the cottage in Wales, where they went after a grueling US tour. The cottage had no electricity or running water. Led Zeppelin never played this live. Page and Bonham led the arranging, changing tempo from slow to fast section and then back again. Plant recorded a version with Tori Amos in '95 for the Led Zeppelin tribute album Encomium. Plant is a huge fan of Amos and wanted to get a different take on the song by having her sing while he played guitar. Tori is also a huge Zeppelin fan. So Plant is a multi-instrumentalist as well. Okay, what other instruments does Robert Plant play? If you know, let me know. It was Robert Plant's idea to include this song on the album, though not everyone agreed with him. Plant says, quote, "Everybody laughed when I suggested to include Down by the Seaside on Physical Graffiti. John Paul Jones, in particular, hates this track." All right. Yes, I guess you can't love every single thing that you've produced. Interesting. I wonder why he hates it. Maybe it's the sound. Maybe it's the signature of the sound, the tranquility of it. I wonder why he hates it. If you know, let me know. That'd be interesting. All right, man. So that is Wikipedia song fact information on Down by the Seaside. Wow, an excellent track, man. I really, really like it. What was I gonna say? I keep going back to my little childhood memory there. That's what's distracting me. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yet again, these two tracks, in their simplicity and their tranquility, giving you great examples of versatility. Versatility is screaming at me as the word to describe these two tracks, to describe the whole Physical Graffiti album, and also, the albums from before, of course. But, yo, man, how many bands, how many artists wish that they had this diversity where they could literally switch hats and just say, yo, today I'm inspired to do something very, very tranquil, something very, very peaceful, something different. Or I would like to do something to just rein in the thunder. They have the versatility to do that. And it seems like they can do it just upon command. Man, just that element alone, to me, is what makes Led Zeppelin as great as they are. I know that a lot of you would say, hey, I love their playing, I love their showmanship, I love this about them and that about them, and it's all good and it's all true. But in the end, 500 years later, you're going to be talking about their great versatility and how they were able to just change around, move around, change their sound. And I'm predicting that Led Zeppelin 3 especially is really, really going to be heralded as one of their best pieces of work as more time progresses and more generations discover Led Zeppelin. Fantastic, man. The versatility, the talent, and also the intuition to know when it's time to put the brakes on your life and to go to the cottage and chill, get inspired, get revitalized, get renewed. And then again, you have now a new perspective on your creativity, how to write and that sort of thing. And going back to my original question with you guys, do you think that without this trip to the cottage that they would have been able to still create these following albums that were obviously inspired by being out there at this cottage? Let me know about that. I'm wondering if they might not have had as much creativity without that trip. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're just that damn talented. But let me know what you think about that. I'm really curious. All right, man. So that is my reaction to Bron E and Down by the Seaside. Fantastic, man. These guys, they just continue to impress the hell out of me with their diversity, their versatility. So coming up, I'm just scrolling down to my notes here, man. 10 Years Gone. 10 Years Gone is the next song following Down by the Seaside. And then as well, I've got Aerosmith's third album loaded for a reaction. I'll get on that right away. What I'm doing here, just so you know what how I'm approaching my reactions, especially with YouTube and things like that, is I'm deliberately leaving open spaces for tributes and important dates. Lots of our rock stars, rock heroes, rock legends are passing away. And along the way, you miss important dates as well. Someone's birthday, the anniversary of someone's passing, things of that nature. So I don't like missing these things. So I want to try and see if I can space reactions out and leave time to do certain things like this. So if you're noticing little holes, yes, I'm busy at work and my life has gotten even busier and crazier, but also I'm deliberately trying to keep some spaces open for when things like this happen. This is the season, it seems, when a lot of our rock stars are dying, So that's the method to my madness. Well, let me give you a good example. T. Fletcher. Geez, I don't know how long T. Fletcher's been a subscriber. Mr. Fletcher, let me know how long you've been with me, man. Have you been a subscriber from the beginning? When did you join? But Mr. Fletcher, he just knows lots of dates for things. He's the one who reminded me that it was George Harrison's birthday, or was it the anniversary of his death? But if he had not let me know, it would have just passed me by and I wouldn't have known, And thankfully I had enough time to do a reaction. In this particular case, however, Mr. Fletcher told me that it's John Lennon's birthday today. And unfortunately, I just don't have enough time in my schedule to do anything. So I've missed that opportunity. But just for everybody, when there are important dates coming up, you might be aware, but I'm probably not. So let me know as soon as you can so that it gives me time to make changes. With John Lennon right now, I can't do anything. It's just too late. Happy birthday, John. I'm sorry that I just couldn't do any kind of a reaction to commemorate your memory, man. But Mr. Fletcher, thank you very much for at least letting me know. See, it's little things like this, that I hate having pass me by. And my final note, let me read to you what I wrote. Note of thanks for guidance and advice of how to navigate. How to navigate, and I'm sorry, I just lost my note here, man. Yeah, okay. So a note of thanks for guidance and advice of how to navigate. Also, how to deal with negativity, haters, and shit testers. That's my note to myself. So, what am I talking about? Note of thanks for guidance and advice of how to navigate. Basically, how to listen, how to approach reactions to certain things. For example, you guys have told me how to react to Pink Floyd, full album reactions, to get the big picture, to get the gist of things. I wouldn't have known that on my own. To include something as a full album reaction rather than this, or when to just do a quad. Excuse me, how to marry up songs together. So lots of guidance and advice like that from a lot of you, which is excellent. When I'm talking about dealing with negativity, haters, and shit testers, again, this community of support is excellent because sometimes people come into the comment sections, they'll call me names, they'll insult me and things like that. And I see a lot of my subscribers will jump on that person and it's like, how many subscribers do you have? Get lost, right? That sort of thing. So thanks for that, the community support. Also, I always get little notes like, don't listen to this guy, STB. He's a fool. He doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't know what he's talking about. And don't even suffer the fools for too long. Just block him and move on. So I get a lot of community support for stuff like that. As well, too, here's a really, really good example of community support, man. A couple of months ago, hooked up with an old Navy buddy, went to his parents' place. His mom is an old Orthodox Christian woman who is just a very, very strong Orthodox Christian woman, very matriarchal. And how do I describe this lady to you, man? She is like, she has a superpower. And that superpower is to manipulate shame. And she uses the veil of Christianity, the platform of Christianity, to do that, to overwhelm, overpower, and shame. And that's her superpower. She can make grown men cry. She can, How to Win Friends and Influence People is not the book she read. She read the book, How to Manipulate and Win People to Your Way of Thinking Through Shame. And that's the book that she read. And I had this encounter with her where she was really putting me to task about my channel and judging my subscribers for joining my community and listening to Led Zeppelin and listening to Black Sabbath. And Black Sabbath, they're warmongers, and Led Zeppelin, they're rude. They want the girl to squeeze his lemon and all of this sort of thing. So she was really judgmental. And let me give you an update on this situation. If you guys have followed this, a couple of days after I had this encounter with her, and I kind of threw it back at her and I kind of leaned into her a little bit, I talked to you guys about it on my Misty Mountain Hop reaction, told you what I had went through and how I wasn't prepared and that sort of thing, and I reacted in anger and that sort of thing. I couldn't really just talk to anybody about it, but I knew that you guys would understand, so I kind of put it out there, let you know what happened. And a lot of you guys came back telling me, well, you know, this is what you say next time somebody approaches you like this. This is what I would say. You know, I remember Angela Selena saying something like, well, you tell her that you have to squeeze a lemon in order to make babies. So I had a lot of community support, and thank you very much for that. I just wanted to say thanks for the guidance and the support. And it was just an example. Oh yeah, here's the update on this situation. So I go and I pick up Daryl, and we were going to go down, pick up a few more military buddies, go down to the mess hall and just hang out with the guys at the helicopter squadron for a few hours. His mom is there. I knock on the door, she opens the door. Daryl's like, Wayne, I'll be down in a minute. And so she's looking at me and she's like, hey, so I didn't expect that response from you the other day at the picnic, you know. And I said, I'm sorry if I embarrassed you in front of your family. She goes, oh, not at all. I wasn't embarrassed at all. I did that just to see what you would do. I said, excuse me? She goes, yeah, I wanted to see what you were made of. I said, so you were shit testing me? She's like, yeah, sure. I said, okay, so let me get this straight, Maggie. You put the relationship between me and your son and your extended family just to shit test me and see what I was made of. She's like, yeah, it's what I do. I said, you know that you are a missionary in your church, and this is the way you act and the way you behave. Shame on you. So she's like, you're made of some good stuff. I'm like, thank you, thanks. And that was it, right? It was just a shit test in the end. So some people have a superpower. Donald Trump is able to manipulate the media and get under their skin. That's his superpower. And he can get millions of dollars of free press just by pushing their buttons. Maggie has a superpower 10 times that. And she can not only manipulate people, mess with their emotions, and do all of these, she has become a very, very wealthy woman. As a result, in her church congregation, she is a multi-millionaire. And she has done this over a period of I don't know how many years by just messing with people. And that is her superpower. So anyway, hey, I just went off a little bit with this. You don't have to know all the details about my life, but I just wanted to say thanks for the community support. That's basically all this is about. I wanted to say thank you for the guidance, how to listen, how to navigate, how to approach certain things. Now, I will say this, and I want to squelch any kind of potential skirmishes in the comment sections, because I noticed that a lot of the time, sometimes you guys are arguing between yourselves about, why are you recommending this to STB? You are taking him into remote areas. He's still got to be educated in more of the common rock and roll elements. Don't take him into remote places, and then it becomes a back and forth type of thing. So I'm going to say this, please don't argue first off, but as well, there is a good point. Please be considerate of my journey and my walk. Don't take me into very remote areas of rock and roll. I'm not ready yet. Some people were recommending a whole bunch of really intense tracks from Yes. And Yes left me just completely like lost in a way. And one of the subscribers were saying, if you take him into these remote areas, he's just going to be completely lost. So thank you. That's an example of community support. Thanks for all of the support, man. I appreciate it. I never expected to actually be just shy of 20,000 subscribers. So that's a huge thing. So I just want to say thank you for the community support, especially to a lot of you who have been with me for a while, from pretty much the beginning. If you have been with me for more than a couple of weeks, said hi to me more than once or twice, you're the person I'm talking to, right? Not just the person who's just kind of like taking a look and then kind of leaving, but the person who's been around with me for a while. You know who I'm talking to. That's you, so thank you. Anyway, man, I'm gonna bounce. I talked way too long, and I just wanted to say thanks again to everyone for all of your guidance and your support, and giving me insights on songs and the history, explaining things to me. I could go on with more and more examples, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. So I'm really grateful for the community of support. And I still have some very ignorant friends who just can't understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And they're like, wow, you're just obsessed with this stuff. I'm like, I'm not obsessed with anything, but it's kind of like when you give somebody a cell phone and you come back a year later and try to take it away, right? It's now a part of that person's life, and that person isn't going to give up that cell phone without a little bit of a struggle, right? So it's the same with me and the reaction channel and the community and learning things. It's great. I really enjoy it, So if you are a friend of mine and you don't like what I'm doing and you don't approve and you want to be judgmental, hit the bricks. That's all I'm going to say. There's specific people that I'm addressing this to, not all of my friends. So anyway, I'm out of here, man. Thanks very much. Look for my next Led Zeppelin reaction in about a week's time. That will be 10 years gone. And definitely I'll be right on to Aerosmith. Probably, if not later today, then first thing tomorrow. So thanks for joining me, man. Hope you enjoyed my reaction. Apologies for being so damn long-winded. I know this reaction is definitely over an hour, but hey, it's Led Zeppelin. No apologies, not really. Take care. Have a good one. Peace.